And now for the first ride on my list that is not considered a thrill ride according to the Disneyland app. And that is my number 5, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I said first, but I meant best. It's The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. It's such a cute ride. If you haven't been on it, go on it. It's cute. I originally didn't want to go on it because I wanted to go on more thrill rides, but my dad forced me to go on it, and oh my god, it was so great. It's my favorite dark ride that is not a thrill ride. It's my favorite non-thrill ride at Disneyland. The music is great. So cute. It's like one of the only things I can say about it. It's great. They're in the wind scene here. And fun fact, this ride replaced the Country Bear Jamboree, so the whole ride could fit in the Country Bear Theater. If you're at Walt Disney World, if you've been to Walt Disney World, now you know how big of a ride Winnie the Pooh actually is. I'm assuming not that big. I've never seen the Country Bear Jamboree because it closed before I was born. Oh, there's Tigger! It's a bountiful Tigger! Horrible Tigger impression right there. Maybe it was good. I don't know. And then Winnie the Pooh, beware the Huffalumps and Woozles. That's actually a really cool effect they have there. But beware, the Huffalumps and Woozles are very confusing. Hopefully I get the song stuck in your head. It's a really good ride. And actually, that honey pot, the Pooh Bear honey pot balloon, used the same mechanism that made Teddy Bear lower down in the Country Bear Jamboree. And then that swirling honey looks so cool. The Huffalumps and Woozles are very confusing. And if you look back right now in the ride, if you look back, not if you look back right now in real life, but during this part in the ride, if you look back, you can see Max, Melvin, and Buff from the Country Bear Jamboree, which is cool. And then he's going out of the dream sequence, and guess what? It's his birthday! It's Winnie the Pooh's birthday! Boom! So yeah, he's having a grand old time on his birthday party! And it's his birthday. And fun fact, actually, honey is spelled 3 times correctly in the ride. The rest of the times it's spelled incorrectly. And his birthday present is just honey, honey. Beware the Huffalumps and Woozles. I'm surprised that Christopher Robin is not in this ride. Okay, now we're on to my number 4. Bye! Make sure that seatbelt is fastened for me, because this ride will break your spine and back every time you ride it. Of course, I'm talking about my number 4, the Matterhorn bobsled. It's probably a horrible German impression. Wait, no, Sweden. I don't know. Sweden, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Germany, actually. But now they're going up the lift hill, which is actually really cool in the newest refurbishment because they have screens. They have screens that are made to look like ice, and you will be seeing that up on the screen right now, on your screen. They have screens that look like ice. Screenception. And they project a Yeti on it. And the new Yeti is scary, and I've only ridden it once. And I've ridden it with the new Yeti. And I've ridden on Tomorrowland side. There's the Wells Expedition, which is actually a tribute to Frank Wells. He was the president of Disney and the CFO when Michael Eisner was the CEO. And he died in a helicopter accident, so that's a tribute to him, the Wells Expedition. And you will see a Yeti animatronic soon, and actually a second Yeti animatronic actually scared me and my dad. Yeah, that one scared me and my dad. But the Yeti's name is actually Harold. You might not have known that. You might have known that. But yeah, the Yeti's name is Harold the Yeti. Okay. And also, I kind of don't like how there are two tracks because it's basically trying to get more, basically copying ideas. Because they have two tracks, so they basically copied the other track, and I would never do that. Like the end to this segment, I would never put at the end of the next segment. And now on to number 3, which is, I know it's crazy that I even have a number 3. Well, I have a 1, a 2, and a 2. So on to number 3. And okay, so bye. If you are watching this early in the morning or late at night and someone in your family is sleeping, please turn the volume down. That takes a lot out of you. But as you can probably guess from the music and the video, my number 3 is Indiana Jones Adventure Temple of the Forbidden Eye. And I have to say Indiana Jones Adventure Temple of the Forbidden Eye because in Tokyo Disney Sea, they have Indiana Jones Adventure and the in the Temple of the Crystal Skull, which is not based on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But, so, this is what I find funny, is that Star Tours was the first Disneyland ride to be based on a Lucasfilm property, and Star Tours was a motion simulator, and the second ride based on a Lucasfilm property was Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. And that, what it was a motion simulator on wheels, which I find kind of cool. And in this, it picks a door, they're going through glittering gold, Mara's treasure, that's what it says in it. But you could also get eternal youth and beauty, and a look into the future. And there was a turntable effect, but you were only going in one door. The turntable effect just made it look like you were going in multiple. But as you saw right there, people were looking into the eyes of Mara, which made her mad for some reason. But those are the gates of doom, and Indiana Jones is holding him shut, and he says to go to the left. And I'm trying not to make this a walkthrough, but this room is called the Chamber of Bubbling Doom, because there are loads of bubbles in this room. But yeah, so you go through the Chamber of Bubbling Doom with lots of bubbles, and then you go into this room, which I can't really tell what it is. But, oh, there's the bugs. There's the bug room, which makes it feel like there are bugs. Ugh, creepy crawlies, except they're not really creepy because they're ants. They're ants or beetles, which are not creepy, especially if you're talking about the band Beatles. I mean, it's not that creepy if you feel stuff on your legs while you hear "Can't Buy Me Love." But yeah, so now they're going into the snake room. It's a spooky, scary snake room. There's a snake animatronic. I like to say animatronic, but... And then you go back into the Chamber of Bubbling Doom. So yeah, and I've only been on this ride once. It was good. I liked it. It was fun. I've actually seen 1.5 Indiana Jones movies. Oh, I believe this is the skeleton room. Or it might not be. But fun fact, actually, this ride cannot move backwards. It seems like it's moving backwards in the boulder scene, but it's not, actually. What's actually happening is the walls are sliding forward. It's an optical illusion. Okay, here is the skeleton room. And you might you might hear noises, which are actually compressed air. So, yeah. But stalling here, and then Indiana Jones is like talking, and then the boulder slides forward and the whole room slides forward, making it look like you're going backwards. And then you go beep, beep, beep. It's actually meant to feel like you're going 65 miles per hour, but in reality you never go over 14 miles per hour. And now we are moving on to my number 2. It's crazy that I even have a number 2. But yes, I do have a number 2 and a number 1 since this is my number 3. But yeah, and a lot of people think this is the best attraction. It's called a thrill ride, but I don't consider it a thrill ride. But then again, I consider Splash Mountain a thrill ride. Okay, now on to number 2. And my number 2 is Space Mountain. It's a classic ride. It's a great roller coaster. And they have this part right here because if there's too much weight in the vehicle, it won't go. The ride won't run. So they have to check if there's too much weight in the vehicle. And the first time I ever went on this ride was when I was 5. Like 5, I don't know if it was when I was 5, but I was like around the age of 5, and my dad told me to go on it. He made me go on it, and then I really liked it, and then it was just like, I really like this part. Whoa, that's cool. This is cool. Whoa, this part is cool. This is what it was like when I went on it when I was 5. And then, whoa, this part is really cool. I liked the ride so far when I was a kid. I liked it. It was great. It was a great ride. And then it went into space, and I was like, whoa, cool, space. This looks great. Whoa, and then liftoff. And I started screaming my head off and crying during liftoff, where it went fast. And then I went on it again on my most recent trip to Disneyland. I went on it twice, and the first time I went on it was at rope drop, and they were going to let us go on it again without waiting in line again. And then the ride broke down right as we were about to go. So we had to do an in-show exit, and then we got a free fast pass. So yeah, I already told you the story in the Haunted Mansion part, but yeah. And it's a great ride. And then the part coming up, the end part, is, in my opinion, the coolest part of the whole ride. It's coming up. It's completely black right now, but there's stars. But my favorite part is right around, I don't really know where it is, but yeah, so my favorite part is when you, re-enter, and there's all red and blue and lights, and coolness, and happiness, and fun times can be had. And that part is coming up right here. Here we go. Pew, pew, pew. And it actually takes your picture at that part, which is cool. Okay, and now on to number 1. During the list, you might have been thinking, where's Splash Mountain? Well, number 1 is zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Okay, I'll stop. But number 1 is Splash Mountain. I really like it. I really like the seats because it's one row and it's a water ride, so not one of your legs will get wet and the other won't because it'll get all wet. And sometimes you don't get wet, but I've been in the front both times and I've got soaked both times. But I like the part that's being shown on the screen right now because it's calm, it's nice, relaxing. You get a great view of Critter Country, and it's really good. And then there's the lift hill, which I do not like the lift hill because it just stops. Right at the lift hill, it just stops. And then it leans you back, and then you start going up, and it is very noisy. Like, literally, it goes like, which is not fun. It's not fun! And then there's, like, little baby drop. It's not even a drop, it's like a foot, or maybe 2. Or maybe I'm just dumb, but okay. So then you go into a building, you get to see people dropping and falling and screaming, and that's not fun. And then there's another lift hill. Why another lift hill? I am not liking it. But this one, when you're inside, there's a bunch of stuff to look at. And look, there's the in-show exit right to the left of you. That's great. And then right here you get to look at the great architecture of Splash Mountain here. And calming, nothing. And then it's basically kind of like an opening credits, because right here you see like Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, Brer Bear. Like, look, see Brer Fox right there on the sign. You might have seen it, you might not have. And also the music playing during this part is like this How Do You Do, but it's with no lyrics. It's like okay, I'll stop now. So yeah, I'm gonna sing a lot because it's a good ride and I like the songs in it a lot. Okay, so you get a great view of the overhead. And then you see people dropping. When I went on it for the first time, people were dabbing, which I did not like. Because the first time I went on it was in November of 2019. No, 2018. I don't think it was in November. I don't know, but it was like a month ago from when this video came out. Let's check. Oh, and there's Slip and Falls. It's fun. People who know that there's a drop on a ride and think that that's the drop, they're like, well, that wasn't that hard, and this, I cannot get the song out of my head, so I will not sing it. How Do You Do? And all of the animatronics in this scene are actually from America Sings. And fun fact, it's not really a fun fact, but my dad does not remember anything of Carousel of Progress, but he remembers America Sings. And all of the animatronics, including Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit, are from America Sings, but there's no Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit in America Sings. Yeah, it's because with Brer Fox, they took Sam the Eagle, took off his costume and put on a Brer Fox costume, and they did the same thing with the owl, and they turned the owl into Brer Rabbit. And yeah, it's a bunch of trees here, and then you see him doing the thingy where he's pulling it back and forward. And that was also from America Sings. It wasn't Sam the Eagle, though. Was not. And there he's laughing because of the bees. That's the scene for the bees. And then there's the drop where you get soaked. Because I've gotten the most soaked on that drop. There is a trash compactor thing. I don't know. It's a garbage truck. So excuse the noises of it. You might not be able to hear it, but I can, and it's extremely loud. Okay, but then there's the everybody's got a laughing place to go ho. And this song it says everybody's got a laughing place. But then in the very next musical number, after Brer Fox gets Brer Rabbit, it literally says, don't go to the laughing place. So is it a laughing place or the laughing place? I don't know. I don't know. Like right here, this is where it says the laughing place. So yeah. And then you have the lift hill. the final lift hill. I actually like this lift hill because there's a lot to look at, and then there's the rare fox projection, the rare rabbit animatronic. But yeah, and then there's the very famous, iconic part of the ride, the rare fox projection. And it's hard to hear, but Ray Rabbit says, "Oh no, please don't throw me in that briar patch." And then Brer Fox says, "I'm glad I thought of that because that's exactly where you're going." And then the 50-foot drop. This part, it's black because they put the camera down because they didn't want it to get wet. Because you do get very wet at that part. And then you go inside for the part which was made because they had a bunch of leftover animatronics. So one of the Imagineers said, "Why don't we just take all these animatronics and put them on a giant barge and have them sing Zippity-Doo-Dah?" Which actually Zippity-Doo-Dah won an Academy Award in 1946 for in Song of the South. Sorry about the TH there. I cannot hear the difference between an F and a TH. So yeah. And now here it is. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. This song's gonna be stuck in your head for days. So yeah, and then it's the barge with all the singing animatronics, and I think the animatronics are good. People think they're creepy and bad, but I like them. I think that the Disney World ones are worse. I just said and. I think the Disney World ones are worse though, because the eyes, for some reason, the eyes just look realistic, and the characters, this is cartoony. But this, with the Disneyland one, it's just all cartoony. And then Brer Rabbit saying that he's through with moving on now. And he's gonna stay at his house. And like it said in one of Aesop's, whatever, the guy from 600 BC who wrote a bunch of fables, moral in one of his stories was be content with your lot. So yeah, Brer Rabbit is being content with his lot. So this is the end of the video, and I hope you liked it, and bye.